Welcome everyone. It's Deborah, Martina, Katja, and Katerina again as your host of the SANAT Kumara's Ambassador of Light podcast in 2026. Today's topic, Unity Consciousness and our Journey of Return. May I ask Deborah to introduce Unity Consciousness, Katja to introduce Earth's Unity Portal, and Martina to share her wisdom about the journey of return back to creation before we enter into a conversation about our recent experiences. Deborah.
Thank you. Thank you, Katerina. Unity consciousness. What does this really mean? As many of us have heard this term before, how many of us really understand what this means? Of course, we may have an idea, possibly meaning that with one another, we unify as one in the human race, consult peacefully about any problems, reach decisions together and implement them in good faith, finally living in harmony. But it is not only about humans, but all beings living here on Earth with us need to be part of that. Seems a tall order, given that humans cannot even agree and live peacefully. But this is exactly the point. It is not humans that will lead the way to humanity consciousness, at least in the majority. Katja, over to you.
Let's expand on where it all has started. So on the 11th of November of 2025, Earth Unity Portal has been placed and opened in Europe. What it did, it connected all communication systems on the Earth to and from the planet, and it made it possible to exchange information within seconds between all life forms who call Earth home. So it connected us to the cosmic communication system, which is a nervous system of our cosmos, which distributes and updates the divine plan. This shift has also connected Earth's habitat with the communication networks of friendly beings from Earth. To friendly beings from off Earth. That makes unity consciousness possible, but it's also a prerequisite for all who want to participate in the journey of return to creation. Martina, can you please expand more on that?
You have to see creation as a breathing out and breathing in process. And until the opening of the Unity Portal, we were in the breathing out process. So from the source of all creation, from the first creation, it got ever more complicated, ever more beings, and ever more individual. And now our universe returns back to that source, and it's a breathing in, no longer descending, but ascending. And this ascending takes place to completely different rules. What does that mean? If you look in our world today, it is about me, myself, and I, and struggle and get what you want and the others don't matter. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you look amongst humans, and it's even appalling when you look at how humans treat all other life forms. Now this has turned around. That means we are not traveling alone. We are not growing alone, but we're growing and traveling back in ever larger groups of beings in unity consciousness. And that means we learn completely new things together. We apply what we've learned together. And then we turn around and teach the next group. That is a completely new set of reality, which is possible because we come together in unity. And Deborah pointed to that. All beings are connected to at least one other soul group. So the humans go together with the devas. And at some point in the ascension, devas and humans will merge. Conri or Blan go together. Other life forms will together. But this start now is that all the beings that are there will show themselves again through the cosmic communication system, through the beings, the humans they trust now. And we have to collaborate to turn Earth around. The living conditions here, the way we treat each other. And it's not us humans who know how this works, because we've messed up on an epic scale. It's these beings that come through now who need to form a bond with us so that they can teach us and we can work together. That's it in a nutshell, I would say. Let me think. Yeah. Some of us had experiences recently. And Katharina, you've been out with Natina in one of the nature stations. Can you share what you've experienced there?
Yeah. So Mother Earth wanted me to visit a nature station urgently, and I don't have one here near the place where I live. So I traveled for some hours to the next one I know. And Natina and I met, and we went together and we bowed to the trees and invited those who guard the station. The last time I visited, and that was the first time, so this was just the second time I visited that particular nature station. So the last time there was a huge white deer. And it again showed up this time, but it came much closer and it was really, really huge. It felt majestic and innocent at the same time. Natina and I, we both saw a giant being, another giant being, hiding in a distance behind the trees.
Checking you out, right?
Checking us out, truly hiding behind the trunk. But the more we continued doing our energy work of connecting and inviting nature beings, the closer the giant came. Natina and I, we were anchoring, it turned out, we were anchoring more nature beings that flowed into the heart of Amaya from the galaxy. This was a healing for Amaya, as nature beings are integral parts of her. When we finished, that giant was standing behind me, and it turned out it was a cyclops, which we all know from mythology.
Oh, the one with just one big eye.
Yeah. So exuded an energy of calm, and it was very friendly, and I felt like we have your back. I have your back. You are friends, and I have your back now. And 2 days later, there were nature beings connecting with me that I didn't know before. They told me their job is to infuse divine love into the energy centers of the human body.
The chakra system.
The chakra system. For this, they told me they work together with the Deva of humanity. And of course, I did what they suggested, and their work has the most amazing effect on the energy system. I was energized. So Martina and I will share more in our books about this. This is just one recent experience that I had. How about you, others?
Yeah, Deborah, you were in Inner Earth. What did you figure out?
Yeah. Well, I have this wonderful area near where I live that I visit often. And now that spring is here, I've been there almost every day on a beautiful spring day. And I sit by this river and I absolutely feel as though everything is different there now. And while I was sitting there painting, I heard from the earth workers of the woodland realm. I had painted their portal at the end of last year, and they're wishing to work through us to help heal Amaya. And I received that information and passed it along, and our team got together to do some of this energy work within Amaya. And we continue to do that as we receive, as Katerina just gave us the information and the beings that she's connecting with. And so a few days later, maybe the next week, I received 2 new portals. One of them named the Leaf Cleaner. The Leaf Cleaner.
Looks pretty cute, that guy.
I know, it is pretty cute. And he prepares and cleanses and prepares the trees for new earth. So that was really amazing. Simple, and just came out of nowhere, as usually happens. And then on the very next day, I experienced something unusual. I was with an old friend. She wanted me to come to her neighborhood. She lived there all her life. Her brother lives behind her in another home. And she wanted me to come into these woods that she's been in all her life. And she's noticing that many of the oak trees are dying there. She wanted me to see what I might receive. And I went there, and indeed, many of the oak trees are dead. We then walked over to see her brother, and I really didn't say much to him before he invited me to come and see the trees in his backyard. And of course, I went with him. And upon witnessing these dead oak trees in his yard, I was compelled to go over and ask the trees if we could help them, and ask them why they're dying. And their answer was simple. They said, "Our job is done." And as they thanked me, they added, "We are making space for new earth trees, 5D trees." So I tried to explain that to my friend and her brother. I did. I just simply told them this is why they're dying, and new trees are coming on 5D earth. And he thanked me. I'm not sure if he understood completely what I was saying. I'm sure he didn't, but that's okay. It was important that they know, and they don't need to worry that some of these species of trees are dying.
We should add 2 things. First of all, these trees that are leaving need our help now. So you just have to imagine, in this huge trunk is a living being, and that needs to be released. And we have to do that. We have to offer it our chakra system to do that. Deborah, you train people together with Annette how to do that. Secondly, the really planting of the new 5D trees, that needs human beings who are connected to their soul in the up-to-date divine plan and provide services to that seating, because the wind and the usual process won't work here. So that is a huge example of what collaboration is needed. You need, as a human being, to understand what is happening and what is your role in facilitating it.
I would like to share something on that. I was leaving the house recently, and one of my mineral quartz stones insisted on bringing the stone, on coming with me. I'm like, all right. I popped it into my pocket. Had no plans of going into the woodlands. However, for whatever reason, I ended up in a wood, which is, by the way, called Oakwood, Deborah. And I felt that my beautiful stone, my crystal inside my pocket is talking to the trees outside. And the energy bubble that it created was palpable. So listen to the things around. They might have something to say that is very unexpected. And I also wanted to add that if any of you would like to visit the nature stations, we have a whole book that lists all nature stations that are available to visit. I believe we have it in 3 languages, English, Russian, and German, and we will post links into the description. So if you have a nature station nearby, it's definitely worth coming around and checking out.
Katya, I would like to add that is exactly what the effect of the Unity portal is. All beings had their own communication networks, like the crystal trees, but they were independent of each other. Now the Unity brings all of them together, the mycelium network, the magnetic network, whatever you can think of. And all of a sudden, they start talking. And they could have done without you, Katya, but by saying, take me with you, they show you now what's possible for us to wake up.
And it's so powerful to be part of this co-creation. So as Katerina was saying, it affects your energy levels in the most positive ways. So listen to the things that are around. You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Martina, can I ask you something about journey on return? So I think we gave good few examples what unity consciousness is itself. So I think it's quite clear that opening of the Earth Unity portal has facilitated this increase in the communication. So now we as the souls who are already incarnated on Earth, will there be a call for us to join journey of return? Is it something that we have to communicate with our soul? How does it look like? How does it feel?
Or even more scary, is there a cutoff day? No.
Indeed.
No. Look, Earth is now vibrating in the 5th dimension. That has happened without the majority of people here on the planet even getting it. 7.8 billion have on soul level accepted the 12-strand sun diamond DNA, which gives the abilities that we need to do the work on the journey of return. That simply is having to learn about them, practice them so that you can use them like speaking, eating. It becomes the new normal in life. We have an updated book on that mid of May, the German version at the end of April. And I guess the Russian-speaking version not too far later. What is possible due to that, Earth in the 5th dimension and the integration of the darkness back into the light, is individual soul connection. We can connect to our souls, and our souls are tapping in the up-to-date divine plan. So that's the precondition to start your journey of return. It's like the field is set, it's spring, you bring out the seeds. And this part, you acquiring the abilities and practice and connecting to your soul, that's your job. At Namas University, there's a free course on soul connection. So everybody is welcome. Once that has happened to you, you can start the journey of return working with other life forms, other beings, on projects that are relevant for this journey of return, like the old trees are leaving. We have to help them let go. And the new trees need to be seated. We have to help them with that. So, for example, what does that mean for your family? You could ask, right? I'm the spiritual one here and the others are not. Or what does that mean for my soul family? There is no direct connection between the journey of return and who is part of your soul family or family. That ascension can take place in different groups. That doesn't need to create stress or strain. It's just that the ones you ascend with faster are on the same level of consciousness as you are. And that's why you can work together. And also add to that, we are not human because we run around in a body that looks human, right? It is our soul quality that determines whether we are a human or a deva. If I look at the screen, there are devas in the room here, right? Yeah. So that doesn't say anything. Our job of all of us here on the planet is to actively decide, do we want to join? Or like the trees say, no, thanks, job is done, we have enough. We continue a third dimensional life on another planet that's more suitable to us for the time being.
Okay. Well, it's clear.
That's why it's very difficult to judge at what is currently going on Earth, with many people leaving, dying, whether this is a choice or whether it is forced. So be careful becoming judgmental. You can, for example, on soul level say, I'm not yet ready with the experience I've gathered in the third dimension to already ascend. I need another incarnation elsewhere in a planet, third dimensional reality before I make this step.
Can I ask another question? So does it mean that at one point all souls that are coming to this planet, to the Earth, will be choosing it to experience 5D rather than 3D? So that there will be a gap of people like us and other human beings and beings who will come here to experience 5D.
Everybody who is incarnating now, and I guess already for a few years, the little ones, so to speak, they are all here to have Earth ascending, and they come here to ascend. It is rather people who have incarnations on Earth for the first time or many times who still need learning and work in 3D. And that's why they go to a different planet. But you can say all the children that are here, they are here because of 5D ascension. So it is us having to stay away from educating them into something that's outdated.
Well, I guess we do have now access to up-to-date divine plan through the cosmic communication system. Would it be a correct assumption?
If you are soul connected, you have, because the soul is connected to that up-to-date divine plan. Or have I misunderstood your question?
No, it's perfect. So I guess it's children who came here to experience 5D, and it's other souls who are ready to communicate, and they will have access to the up-to-date divine plan. Now it's clear.
Look, let me put that differently. The people who watch us, listen to us, they are here for the very same reason as we are here. They are, so to speak, the early movers in this. And it just needs a decision and then say, okay, I'll learn this. I start learning about the 12-strand sun diamond DNA, what it gives me. I take time out to connect with my soul firmly and permanently. And then I do what is ever needed, because my soul will tell me exactly what it is and helps me to set the right steps out of my current situation, out of what doesn't work anymore. And it can be quite simple, like what Deborah told the friends who still live in their house, who simply have to help the trees go and make peace with themselves that they've done their job. It can be bigger things that you are taken out of your work environment and say, cut the crap. You're not longer working for a company who's abusing the planet or exploiting employees. Get out of there.
Good questions, Katya. Thank you. I'm sure that's very helpful for our listeners. Thank you, Martina.
All right. Shall we come back together in 2 weeks? If you want more information, please you find us on namasuniversity.org. The link is in the description below. There's also a Maya with a recent book that is called Amaya Speaks, who will show you what Amaya is up to and looks like and what you need to know. And the Sanat Kumara is busy with a new book, The Sun Diamond DNA and the Soul on the Journey of Return. The English version will be ready mid-May, the German at the end of April. So get to work. That's our message, I guess. And we'll see each other in a fortnight. And if all goes well, we have a special guest and we talk about plants.
Very nice. See you then. Thank
See you
you.
then.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.